All right, everyone, welcome here to FL Teams, and we are extremely pleased to have Coach Amir Abdur-Rahim joining us here at FL Teams. Coach, welcome to FL Teams. Thanks for coming on.
Man, thank you for having me, man. To God be the glory, man. It's great to be on with you this morning.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk to you. As you may be able to guess, I'm a USF fan and an alum. The basketball program has not always historically been, we'll say, a point of pride. As a student, we talking about USF basketball before this past season was like, do you remember that one season? That was kind of neat. um, and you came in year one and took this program places it's never been before. I guess just speak to what drew you to USF to begin with, and then how hard was it to make it look easy, turning around a program in 1 year?
Well, as I always say, man, you don't take jobs because of money, or what I've learned, I should say. I shouldn't say I say it. What I've learned is you don't take jobs because of money, or any of that stuff. I think it's all about people. It's all about alignment. And when I had the opportunity to speak with Michael Kelly about the opportunity here, and listen to him, Lee Butler, talk to Jay Stroman, Will Weatherford, the I say the higher ups, the team, the chair and and the board and all of those guys, and just to hear their vision for what they wanted, it matched what I got into this business for. And I got into this business a long time ago when I didn't want to coach. I was a GA at Murray State. I got my degree in business from Southeastern Louisiana, and I just wanted to get my master's degree, go back to Atlanta and get into like real estate. I wanted to open strip malls and just kind of have my money kind of rolling. And I'm very grateful and thankful that God's plan was better than my plan, because I got into it because I wanted to be able to share and give back my experiences with this game and what it had taught me, like in my work ethic, and it's been everything I've done since I was 18 years old. My work ethic that I take into this game is the same work ethic that I've taken in everything. So when I heard, what they wanted for the men's basketball program, it aligned with my core values of who I was. And then once I got down here and I saw campus, and having spent time at, a couple uh Power Five schools, I looked at our resources from a facility standpoint, financially, so on and so forth. And I'm like, man, we got a Power Five job, like based off those things. Like we can do it right here. And after that, it was just like my wife is from the Orlando area. She went to that other school,
Mm.
and so it was an opportunity to get her back closer to family, and the kids closer to Disney and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it just made a lot of sense. And then I don't know about making it look easy, but for me, it's simple. It's about environment. What type of environment you're putting these guys in every day, and that starts with the staff. What type of people I was putting around me every day. Were they helping me get better, or were they just in it for basketball? The one question I asked everybody on my staff when I was interviewing them, was why do you do this? And no, like no joke, if I had heard, oh, I just really love the game, I was gonna move on. But from Ben Fletcher to William Small to Desmond Oliver on down the line, well, like this is, I want to be able to do this, and it aligned with who I am. And because of that alignment, you can eliminate distractions. Because of that alignment, you can really focus on helping these guys be the best version of themselves every day. And so I think last year, we started out slow because they were still becoming a team. They were still trying to find a way to trust and believe in each other, and so we just had to keep building and pushing on that part of it because we had guys who had ability, who had played Division I basketball and been a part of winning. Now it's just getting them to trust and to believe in each other. And you got to go through some hard things for that to happen. And they did, and they stayed the course. They didn't splinter. If anything, they got closer. They got more connected. And that our environment, which led to our culture, allowed us to do some special things, as we all know now.
Yeah, and I guess that's great to hear, and that's really going to be so necessary in kind of the modern day college athletics with the transfer portal
Yeah,
and all that stuff. You're
yeah,
not it's I was lamenting this the other day talking to a couple friends about that team from last year. There's going to be some familiar faces back.
yeah,
But there's also obviously going to be some major losses.
yeah.
And there's going to be new faces. And back in the day, you know, you knew, okay, these guys are coming back next year.
Yeah.
Whereas in kind of the modern landscape, no matter what school you are, I feel like,
Mhm.
that each individual season is its own special thing.
Yep.
But the environment, the culture, that's got
Mhm.
to be constant.
No, it has to be. And, like you can either evolve or you can get left behind. And I say it humbly, I don't, you know, I'm not gonna ever apologize for my confidence. Because I work hard, and my parents, they raised me and my siblings to believe in ourselves. If you work hard at something and you put your time in, don't apologize for being confident. And I put my time into this profession. I put my time into really caring about young people. But I also put my time into growing and evaluating, not just myself, but making sure I'm keeping, my antennas up, and making sure I'm able to recognize a good player. Most of the time people can only see productivity and say, oh, he's a good player. They can't see the guy for where he is and for what he can become. And we're going to miss the guys that helped us do something special last year, but I like this group we put together. Again, it's about making them become a team, but that environment, that culture, it matters because that's what it wins out, at the end of the day. It wins out at the end of the day. Maybe in professional sports, you can be more talented than everybody, but, I always think back to, I can't remember what year the Super Bowl it was, but Brady's, coming off the bench in New England. Bledsoe gets hurt, and they're playing the best show on turf,
Hmm.
the Rams. And man, like based on talent, the Rams were supposed to win that game.
Yeah.
But what you saw unbelievable Tom Brady, but Bill Belichick was able to evaluate, right, his team and what was best for his team at that time. And a guy that was taken, I guess, in the seventh round, he trusted enough to play in that Super Bowl and help win that Super Bowl. But culture, I thought, beat talent out that day.
Hmm.
And so we just want to continue to evaluate, not only the guys we're recruiting, but evaluate our team, evaluate our environment, our culture, our day-to-day things that we're doing here, and make them better. I still have room to improve as a coach. So I'm starting with me every day, and I'm looking at myself every day trying to figure out, all right, where do you have to be better? Where do you have to grow in order to be the best you can be and lead this group of young men?
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard this before, but the thing that stands out to me that's so really, again, as a USF person, has been so magical is it almost seemed like the football team and the basketball team were like the same as far as culture goes. Where I talked to several football of the players on here last season, and I talked to
Mm,
Coach Galesh, and it was like, there were many times where it's like, I've seen this before. We're gonna, we're done. We're sunk.
mhm,
And the basketball team then turned out to be almost identical. Like where it was
mhm.
like, oh, we're down big to Memphis. It was nice while it
Yeah,
lasted, but the team never gave up. It just,
right.
you know, and I guess again that really does also go back to culture. Just believe you
No,
can be down, but you're not out.
Until that last horn goes off, like we always got an opportunity. And like that, but like that's what that group had to go through, like, and I always say it wasn't necessarily the Memphis game. I thought, we got the brakes beat off of us at Hofstra. And then we turned around, man, we competed at a high level at UMass. And I thought after that game, they trusted each other. And then we come home, and I'll never forget, I shared this story with the guys. Man, I had a couple people tell me, yeah, man, like, man, if you're 3-5, if you're 3-5 or three, I can't remember what it was, but if you're 3-5, going into this, man, you got to consider that a win. And I'm competitive, and I'm like, no, like it's no more victories, and we go down and we do what we did versus Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
You started to see those guys trust and believe in one another, right? Man, and that Memphis deal happens, and then we like what people don't, I think, forget is we came back from Florida State and we beat a really good Loyola team, program, I should say. Any program that's been to the Final Four is a big time program, right? And we beat that. And now they're like, oh, we can be good. We have a chance to be good. And but at the same time too, we started kind of feeling ourselves a little bit, we started feeling ourselves a lot, man. We were but now we go into conference play and people forget against Temple. I think Temple was our first. Yeah, I think people forget against Temple. We were down like 15 against Temple at home, and come back and win that game. And then we get down like 17, I think, versus Rice, right? Come
Yeah.
back and win that game. But we were feeling ourselves. We thought because we had beat Florida State and, that we had arrived. No, like, guys, it's still about day in, day out culture, togetherness, connection. And then, we go to UAB and, man, we play well, but we lose, right? And now it's like humbling because, oh, whatever. But then you go to Memphis and, we talked about before that game having a type of dangerous unselfishness, because when Dr. King, his mountaintop speech towards the end of that speech, he talked about having a dangerous unselfishness, being there for your brother, regardless of if you're okay, if your brother's not okay, you know, be there for your brother, develop a type of dangerous unselfishness. And man, that game, we played well early in that game. They just played better, right?
Yeah.
But I'll never forget at one of the timeouts, a young Jaden Reed is youth, man. Like he didn't know what he was what he was saying, man. But he goes, man, we straight guys. They ain't very good. And I'm looking at him like, man, we down 20, bro. Relax. But in that moment, you let him be who he is, and like that dude was 0 for whatever, before that layup that put like I either tied the game up or put us ahead. Yeah, yeah. Like, but for him to still have the swagger and confidence to make that move and take that shot, man, when we won that game, it was no question they believed in each other. There was no question the trust for each other they had. And so from there, it was like, all right, man, like, all right, y'all picked us nice. We'll see.
The I don't know if it's sour grapes or I'm sure you feel it a lot more than me, but being left out of the tournament after, I don't know. I compared this the other day to if the NFL, yeah, it's playoff time. Instead of looking at regular season records, we're going to have all the divisions play a tournament, and the winner of
Right.
that it goes, as opposed to the team
Mhm.
that was, first place.
Consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what, 16-2, right? I mean,
Yep.
that's a pretty strong. That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
And aside from getting a high seed, which, what does that really mean after round one, right? Not a whole lot.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. I still have a little bit of sour grapes about that, and I'm sure I'm guessing part of your messaging is going to be going into this upcoming season. Hey, the beginning of the year really matters.
Well, yeah, but like, my thing was, were we disappointed we weren't in that field? Did I think we were one of the best 68 teams in the country? It wasn't about what I think or what I felt. Like our record proved it. You're 25-8, you're 16-2 in the American Conference. We were one of the most consistent teams in the country, from January on, and so, but I say all the time, my title is head coach, but I'm in the business of molding men, young men into men. And so instead of complaining about, well, we didn't, man, look, it ain't about what happens, it's how we respond, and instead of complaining about the fact that we didn't get in the tournament, let's focus on, if we go into the NIT, let's focus on that. And let's try to get better, because I wasn't going to forget either, even though I wasn't here. You said it at the beginning, our program wasn't very well respected, and I'm not sure if it still is, well respected. I don't care. I know I know the work we put in every day, and I know we're going to put ourselves in a position to be successful. But before, like, our program wasn't respected. Our program wasn't looked at as a championship program. Now, they can leave us out the tournament. They can't take that banner away. They can't take them nets we cut down away. We're still going to be the defending American Conference champions. And so now we could sit here and say, well, yeah, like, they know the start of the season matters now, but I'll take it even one step further. They know how important the summer is. They know how important it is for them to be intentional about their relationships, to build that bond, because we get beat at Hofstra the way we got beat because we weren't a team yet. We were still a group of individuals. They became a little bit of a team going into that UMass game, and they realized, like, man, I can't do it by myself. And so, instead of focusing on the games at the beginning of the season, which we'll get to that point, man, we're going to focus on being the best versions of ourselves every day this summer. And then when we get to the fall, being the best versions of ourselves that we can collectively come together and be the best team, we can possibly be.
Awesome. And last thing before I let you go, the how much did it mean to you to get the support from the fans? That was honestly, I'll tell you, there was a game, it may have been the FAU game or the game after, and I said, a buddy and I were going to go, and I'm like, we can get tickets the day of the game. Nope, I was wrong. Sold out, what, 4 or 5 straight games at the end of the season, which was just, uh, blew my mind. You couldn't have, if you had told me the season that USF basketball was going to have, I still would not have predicted the students and the fans would have packed the Yingling Center the way they did. How much did that mean to you, and how much is that now, like, that's our expectation?
No doubt. It meant the absolute world to me, because I my title is head coach, but I'm a part of this campus, right? Like, I'm part of the campus. I don't want to be separate from campus. So I was very intentional when I got here about getting out on campus, meeting the students. Like, I'm not Jim Carrey and yes, man, but like, as much as I could get in front of them, like, I would tell Jackie Grant, hey, Jackie, whatever it is, I'll do it. Like, just bring it to me. And if I can do it, I'll do it. But, like, it also says a lot about our guys, right? It said a lot about our players, because, man, it's a lot to do in Tampa, right? Like,
Yeah.
Ybor City is really nice. Tampa is really nice. It's a really nice area. And so that would, like, the students coming, that means when our guys were on campus, they were personable. Like, they were a student. They weren't an athlete. They weren't acting like they were better than somebody else. And the students, they came to support that. And so I said early on, and some people thought I was just talking, but no, like, I said at my press conference, I expect to have the best home court environment in the country. I wasn't just talking about the American. And I'm telling you that our Charlotte game, our FAU game, I could go on and on and on and on. I put them up there with anybody in the country. You know,
Mm.
like whenever I can't remember who does it, but they always do best student sections in the country. I know that SoFlo Rodeo got to be in that top 5, you know, because that thing, man, they were great. And so yes, we expect that now, but we still have to do our job, you know, because every year what is going to be probably 7 to 10,000 new students on campus, and our freshmen, we got to get them, you know, locked in and, you know, excited about us too, you know. So we still got to do our job. I'll be out on campus in the fall. I'll be handing, you know, I don't know if it's ice cream sandwiches. I'll be something cool. I know that. It ain't gonna be soup, you know, but I'll be out on campus. I'll be at the football games, you know, and I'm about to start a little workout regimen. If I can get my body where I want, I'm gonna be painted up in the student section, you know, with the students at the football games. You know, we're gonna be at Raymond James ready to go. You know, but that's only if I can get in the shape I want to get in. I don't have a lot,
Yeah.
time these days. You know, it's a lot of recruiting going on, a lot of coaching going on. You know, it's hard to get that workout in, but I got to get it in.
Yeah, the shirtless body paint's a bold move.
Yeah, especially if if you hadn't done your job, if you hadn't worked, you know. So
That'll make you hold yourself accountable for
no
sure.
question, no question.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on a great season and on the contract extension. Well deserved, well earned, and look forward to seeing the Bulls have another great season coming up.
Thank you, and I'm gonna just say to you, the fact that you are a loyal supporter of the Bulls. I get it, man. Like you got your flag in the back, you got your shirt on.
Yeah.
I get it, man. It's not an easy. I've been at places before where it's hard being a fan, right? Look, I grew up in Atlanta. It's hard being an Atlanta sports fan. I get it. But if you can remain true, like it makes those seasons like last season that much more memorable and that much more fun, you know? So thank you for your support and go Bulls.
Go Bulls, baby. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.